Ezil burada. over here. Get over here.
Oh, I'm going to faint.